What's up everyone, welcome back. So as we all know, winters are starting to set in and now it is the succulent season. A lot of people are going to purchase succulents. Now there is one major mistake which a lot of people do. Now people buy succulents online, they buy it from the nursery or they buy it from their local store. There is a very important thing that you need to keep in mind. Now you can see there are a bunch of succulents over here, but there is one succulent that stands out or looks a little bit different compared to all the other succulents. And that is this one over here. Now as you can see, this succulent has some discoloration on the crown area. The rest of the succulents are nice, compact, and they have a nice consistent color on them, but this one lacks that. Now this ideally happens when you have either purchased a new succulent online or from the nursery. Probably that nursery does not receive a lot of sunlight. Probably they also have got the new lot of succulents and they are stretched. So in this case, never ever expose your succulent to direct sunlight, especially the one that tends to look like this. Because if you're going to expose this succulent to direct morning sunlight, let's say even for an hour, all that white discoloration that you see will immediately get burnt, and this is going to happen within a day. It won't even take 2 days or a week. It will just happen within 1 day itself, and you have to be extremely careful. You do not want that to happen, because once the leaves will get burnt, it cannot be reversed. The succulents will still continue to have those scars on the leaves, and they will only be hidden when there will be new growth on that, and which is going to take a very long time. Now let's say you have completely forgotten and left it in direct sunlight. Most likely the succulent will get damaged beyond repair, and then probably the succulent will start to melt or it will start to rot. So you have to be extremely careful. Keep this succulent in indirect bright light where there is a good intensity in that bright light, but no direct sunlight falling onto the leaves. Now, how long do you leave it over there? This all depends upon your environment and climate and how well the succulent is coping with the new environment. But let's say if your succulent starts looking like this, maybe after a month or so, when it starts looking like this, can we put it out in direct sunlight? Absolutely not. You have to then acclimate your succulent to direct morning sunlight. And we all know the process. You will start the first day with 1 hour, get it back to indirect bright light. The next day you move it again to morning direct sunlight, keep it for 1 hour 30 minutes. Once that's completed, and then get it back again to indirect bright light. You'll have to continue this entire process for almost a week or so, or even 2 weeks is much better. And after the completion of the acclimation period, you can then leave your succulent in morning direct sunlight. But always ensure you're doing this in early morning direct sunlight. Do not do it in afternoon sunlight. You will never leave your succulent out in afternoon direct sunlight, not even for an hour or so. It will get burnt. This has to be done in early hours of the morning sunlight when it is very mild, it's warm, and it is not very strong. Winter time is very ideal to acclimate succulents because the sun is not that strong, but be extremely careful. Go very slow with this process. Now some of you might ask me about grow lights. I am not very sure about grow lights because I don't have any experience of growing succulents under grow light. So I do not want to give any information based on assumption or guesswork, because as I mentioned, once the leaves get burnt, they are going to stay onto the succulent and they will only get covered up when the new leaves will grow and cover up that part. But until then, those scars are going to stay on your succulent. So I'm not going to do any guesswork. But yes, I am 100% sure you cannot keep this succulent directly under a grow light. Like let's say this succulent is over here and you're planning to keep your grow light like this. Please don't do that, because the grow light also has a very high intensity. The succulent will get burnt in a similar way how you are exposing it to morning direct sunlight. So I don't know if there are people who are growing the succulents under grow lights and who have an experience with such a case, then please do let me know in the comment section, where do you place a succulent like this. So this is a slow process. It takes some time. That is why you need patience. Whenever I get new succulents, I tend to keep them in indirect bright light. A lot of times I will just leave them there for 2 months, 3 months, because there is a good intensity in that indirect bright light, so they start to get colored up. These succulents also, when I had got them, most of these succulents are probably 3 years old or maybe 4 years old. and I keep them in that same spot for at least 2 or 3 months. I'm not in a hurry. I have a lot of succulents on display, so I'm not in a hurry to put my new succulent out in direct sunlight. Probably after 2 months or 3 months, I will then start acclimating them and put them in morning direct sunlight, or at times I completely leave them in that spot, because the succulent does have a good amount of color. They're very compact. As you can see, this is my echeveria red hole. There is no red right now because it was in a little bit of indirect light, but I have to slowly acclimate it to morning direct sunlight, and then it will eventually start getting color. Now that the winters are coming in, echeverias will get into their dormant period. In my city, dormancy is not that strict, but if I'm going to reduce the watering, offer a good amount of morning direct sunlight, maybe the colors will come up on the edges. If you are from an extremely cold environment, this succulent tends to turn completely red in color, but in my city, the winters are not very intense, hence this succulent is not going to turn completely red. It might just get some reds on the edges. That's about it. So that's it for today, guys. Very important, please don't destroy your succulent. If your succulent looks like this, it needs light but not direct sunlight. Indirect bright light, let it slowly start to get that color back, which again, there is no said time frame. It can take 1 month, maybe 2 months, all depends upon your environment and climate. Once your succulent looks somewhat like this, then you can slowly start acclimating to morning direct sunlight, because at this point of time, the succulent is completely protected with anthocyanin pigments. So that's it for today, guys. I hope that you liked this video. If you did, please hit the like button, and if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing to it. Until then, take care, stay safe, and keep planting.